And when I watch 72 games or 82 games, year in and year out, none of the other top players guard the other top players. So what are these guys talking about? I agree with the thought. That's how it used to be back in the day.
Right.
But in today's NBA, when do you see the best player on one team walk out on the court and say, is you and I today?
Well, we don't see it that often during the regular season. However, I will say this: in Game 7, you go back to the Clippers and the Mavericks. There were situations where you saw Kawhi.
Look what you said, though. Game 7. What about my first 6 games?
Very true.
Oh, they don't matter, though.
Very true.
Okay. You know, sometimes it might not be a Game 7 if the two best players going to fight out and play against each other sometime. Maybe it wouldn't go to a Game 7. Just a thought. You know what I mean? You're the best player. If we play the same position, Kyle, both of us small forwards, and I'm an all-star and you're an all-star, why aren't we going against each other? Don't you want to kind of see if you're really better than I am at the end of the day?
We all want to see that.
Yeah, that's what we want.
We all want to see that, for sure.
Accepting the challenge.
The great thing about it, all defensive player against an all offensive player, those two guys, it'd be a great show.
So this is what, and he's referencing the all-first defensive team. We already know Giannis has won the Defensive Player of the Year, but one thing that stuck out to me, and Kyle, to hear a two-time MVP say repeatedly over and over again, the best player on the planet, best player in the world, referencing KD. When you see that, knowing the accolades that Giannis has, how does that make you feel, knowing that he has those credentials in the league?
Yeah, you know, Giannis is a super humble guy, and he's, you know, he will go at KD next game. I will say that. But that's not what you want to hear.
That's not what you want to hear.
This fella.
And
you look so damn good.
we have a guest in studio. This is live television.
Boy, you know they ready to go home now.
The one and only Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq, why don't you come back over here and join us for a second? Whoa.
Don't worry about what I be doing.
Oh, man. Yes, that is the big Aristotle. You know him as Shaquille O'Neal, and I'm on camera 3. Live television, there's nothing like it. Now we're coming back to the gym. But just to finish off your thought as you were rudely interrupted by Shaquille.
Shaq interrupted my thought. You know what? I think we all want Giannis to own this moment. Right, he has been the best player in the NBA the last 2 years. He has been the best defender, and we want to see what you got right now. And so I think that's what people who are asking for more right now, we want to see what you got right now. And I think you will see that in Game 6.
Coach, you think?
That's it. Look, when Portland played Chicago, Michael and Clyde squared off against each other, right?
That was a long time ago.
Hey, man, but look, when the Lakers and the Celtics played each other, right, you always had those matchups, and man, coming into the playoffs, you know, I'm thinking, you're looking at the schedule thinking, KD against Giannis. Oh my God, this is going to be classic. We're talking about one of the guys that's going to go down as one of the all-time leading scorers, greatest scorers in the history of the NBA, against a guy that's the freak of nature, right, who has his name, who's been Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time MVP. These two guys who are built very similar, long, athletic, they're going to face off with each other in a 7-game series. It's must-see TV, but yet, I mean, it seems like Giannis is asking for it. KD is like, look, just bring them all. You don't put the whole team on me. Who else you got left but Giannis? So at some point in Game 6, I expect Giannis to guard KD, because if you couldn't slow KD down with no Kyrie, no James Harden, and you threw Middleton, P.J. Tucker, and everyone else at him, the only guy left to throw at him is Giannis.
And that might be their best option for Game 6. Can't wait to see that. Brooklyn up right now, 3-2. KD, notoriously doing it B.I.G. 49 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists as BK gets the assist on 74 of the Nets' 114 points. This is the easy money sniper.
It's a physical team, and his hamstring is one of those injuries that you know, it takes a while to heal, but he came out there and toughed it out, and, you know, had 8 assists, 6 rebounds, you know, missed some good looks all night. And I know his legs going to get back under him over, you know, as time, you know, next few days or so. So hopefully next game he start to knock some of those shots he usually make down. And, you know, we got our work cut out for us in Game 6, man. It's going to be the toughest game of the year.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
Kevin, obviously, James wasn't himself in terms of his ability to drive to the basket, and that seemed to throw you guys off in the first half. Was there a conscious decision that you made, just to sort of initiate the offense and to go through you again to get it going in the second half the way you did?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to, we know he's coming off a tough injury and being out for so long, and we trust James handling the ball and setting people up so much that we probably put too much on him in that first half. But I think he settled down in the second, got his legs, got his rhythm, and I was able to help him a little bit as well, handling the ball. So did Landry, so did Bruce, so did Jeff. I think we all took turns, so we're going to need that going forward.
Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, Kevin, just how do you feel after having a game like this? Not necessarily physically, although you played 48 minutes, but like mentally and emotionally, how do you feel after hanging 49 and 48 minutes?
I mean, we got another game. We got to travel tomorrow, and we got a game 6. I mean, I can't celebrate because we won the game. We got another game to try to finish it out.
Vincent Goodwill, Yahoo Sports.
Hey, Kevin, I'm just curious, when you were reading the game early on and you were being more facilitator than scorer, was that something that you planned to do from the start of the game, just sort of to read it, to get Jeff involved, to get easier looks at everybody else, and then sort of rev it up in the second half? Because that's the way it looked like it played out. Yeah, it did look that way, but I didn't plan on doing that. I mean, I always try to be aggressive to get to my spots to score, and I think that settles my teammates down as well. But, this team does a lot of helping and a lot of swarming in the paint. So, previous games, I may have forced a couple shots over 2 people, and I could have, threw out for a hockey assist maybe tonight. So, just keep watching films, keep seeing where the defense coming from. And but at the end of the day, I still got to be aggressive.
Alex Schiffer, The Athletic.
Hey, Kevin, I got 2 for you. You talked about playing the whole game. Did you tell Steve before the game, I can go as long as you need me to, or was it you looked up at one point and realized you hadn't come out and realized you were good? Just, I guess, what was the dialogue like about you playing the whole game, and Steve said that you were cool with it? Yeah, we never talked about it. I mean, Coach, we always had dialogue about minutes throughout the season of maybe you should pull me here for a couple minutes, or maybe you should keep me in. And so tonight I went to him, and him and Coach Vaughn just asked me if I needed a couple and that they were going to take me out. And I was like, yo, if y'all don't need to, I'm cool. I think I can kind of tough it out from here. But I was cool with anything they wanted to do, and they decided to keep me in. And then just Jeff gave you guys some big shots. If you could kind of speak to his performance. Yeah,
I mean, he came out there and set the tone for us at the 3-point line to start the game. And I think we fed off of that, 7 for 8 from the 3. For him, and off the bench, I mean, that was huge for us, and we needed every one of those shots. Even you got Landry came in and knocked down some good ones. Blake had knocked down some shots too, because they just feel like they're just leaving them open. So, we're gonna need that in Game 6. Everybody contributing, but more so than anything, playing with that energy that we did.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, Kevin, those conversations with Steve and with Jacques, at what point were those where you were saying, no, if you don't need to take me out, I can do this, I can handle it?
I think it was somewhere in the 3rd or 4th quarter, but we always talking. I mean, I can't remember, but we always having dialogue over there, and that was one of those conversations. I don't remember what time, but I just remember having that with those 2, and letting them know that whatever they needed me to do, I was cool with. If they want me to stay in, if they want to come out for a couple minutes to get, I was cool with anything. So. I'm glad they kept me in, though.
Cassidy Hubbard, ESPN.
Katie, I'm sure a lot of people said a lot of great things about your performance tonight in the locker room, but was there anything specific you said to James and Jeff about what they did in this game tonight? I mean, we all encourage each other all the time. So as the game was going on, we always tell Jeff, keep being aggressive, keep shooting. James, we checking on him every time out to see how he's feeling, especially with handling the ball and with Drew Holiday pressuring on full court. But after the game, guys were just, happy that James out there playing again, but also wanting to, take care of himself this next 24 hours so he can get ready. And for Jeff, we were just excited that he came out there, especially after being out since –
for a couple weeks as well, he came out there and had a nice impact, impacted the game pretty nicely. So, like I said earlier, we're not celebrating too much, but we were excited for guys coming into the locker room, and we know that we got to, put this behind us and get ready for Game 6.
Brian Mahoney, AP.
Hey, Kevin, I know you say things like, always whatever the team needs, but have you ever felt like it was done that much? Between obviously having to rebound against Brook Lopez, also kind of being the distributor when James wasn't 100% beyond just the scoring?
I mean, I've always been. I mean, I know the perception of me is that I can score the basketball well, but, any team that I've played on, I've been asked to do pretty much everything from rebounding to defending to initiating to scoring. I might not be, I might not do it all the time, but I do a little bit of everything out there. So I knew at some point that coach would ask me to screen, rebound, defend, bring the ball up, score, shoot threes. So I just work on everything I can and practice, and when the game comes around, I just got to be ready to pull, be ready to do anything. So tonight was one of those nights.